for the love of trees, a meditation. With images from around my neighborhood, I hope to plant a seed of appreciation for the wonder of the Creator's gift of trees and for the love that they shower upon us with their beauty, grace, shade, and life-giving oxygen. Trees are unique. Wonderful, living, breathing, sentient beings in all their diversity, created in God's image. They bless us and freely share the love of Creator with us, with birds and squirrels, insects, and many other living creatures, with the air, the waters, and the earth itself. They nurture and provide a home for the most biodiversity on the planet, and nourish our souls and bodies beyond measure. They deserve our awe, humble respect, and gratitude. Trees present a great mystery. There's a clue in the old hymn, immortal, invisible, God only wise, in light inaccessible, hid from our eyes, in that trees, being phototropic, can perceive or see that light as they daily seek it, live in it, respond to it, and photosynthesize to feed and be fed. Their vitality depends on the flow of sap, like our flow of blood, and the strength of their roots and their heartwood that allows them to grow upright and live long, productive lives, much longer than a human lifespan, wherein they are witnesses to great changes in history. In that hymn, we sing to the Creator of all, "We blossom and flourish like leaves on the tree, then wither and perish, but naught changeth thee." Surely trees in their essence reflect this experience and wisdom. Oh, help us to see 'tis only the splendor of life hideth thee. In the Bible, after God and people, the third most common mention is of trees. From the beginning, in the garden, where all varieties are made, giving forth their fruit in due season, including the tree of consciousness, where eating its fruit led to rationality and separation, across the countless generations, through to Revelation and the tree of life in the new heaven and the new earth. There is something sacred about all these trees, something indigenous peoples have always known, but today many humans seem to take for granted, lose touch with their mystery, and forget their message to our detriment. Is our reason and imagination a gift or a curse? Over the centuries, it has allowed remarkable invention and development of complex cultures and societies. But at what cost? Deforestation for agriculture and the building of cities has reduced the forest canopy immensely and irrevocably. Decimation by conflicts and wars have added to its destruction and to all of nature generally. We live in a technology-reliant society that thinks it can always devise practical solutions to life's challenges. But more recently, another more dangerous threat has emerged, which has no easy techno-fix: climate change. Trees, while producing the oxygen we breathe, absorb carbon dioxide from the air and sequester carbon in their cells, creating an equilibrium in the atmosphere. The wonders of the Industrial Revolution and its attendant technologies have depended on the burning of fossil fuels, the ancient remains of sequestered carbon from eons past, thereby releasing and increasing the accumulation of carbon in the atmosphere, leading to global warming at an alarming and accelerating pace. Fires, floods, and droughts, hurricanes and cyclones are increasing threat to trees and to all. Science tells us that the window for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, ending our addiction to fossil fuels, and switching to renewable energies to slow the impacts of climate change is closing fast. We need the wisdom of trees to help us and give us hope. But how? Action on the climate crisis requires global agreement and implementation of mitigation, adaptation, and loss and damage measures. Trees are experts at mitigation in their role as carbon sequesters, or sinks, and protectors of biodiversity. They are masters of adaptation as they adjust constantly to weather and soils, moisture and winds, and they have learned to regenerate after losses and damages from lightning strikes, storms, and being cut down. Their resilience is remarkable. Job says, "For there is hope for a tree, if it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its shoots will not cease." This is good news, but unfortunately does not hold when a tree is uprooted, as it may be in catastrophic storms and floods. It is also true that people who are uprooted due to climate change conditions may also not easily thrive in their displacement. We, like trees, stem from the earth, are rooted in the soil, the actual physical ground of our being, and branch into communities, families, and nations. Proverbs refers to wisdom as a tree of life. We know that trees communicate with each other across species at subsoil, through root systems, through sound vibrations, and through pheromones at aerial levels. We humans have learned to communicate with each other across generations, and recently at instant speed across the world, but not always effectively, with consistent messages of caring for the planet and each other, nor of justice and peace. If we are to make peace with Earth and one another, we can learn from trees how to support and care for each other and stop our destructive behaviors. Today, according to Nature World News, more groundbreaking research has confirmed that it may even be possible for humans and trees to communicate at some level. Trees communicate to survive as a community. This sense of community has been documented to go even across tree species. It has led to entire forests slowly spreading towards areas with better climate. It has even influenced a forest's ability to attract birds and pests that ensure that its seeds are spread far. And the more this wondrous phenomenon is understood, the better it can help researchers understand the need of struggling ecosystems. If we are so interdependent as one in the web of life, as a song of faith proclaims, this is part of the mystery. Each part of creation reveals unique aspects of God the Creator, who is both in creation and beyond it. All parts of creation, animate and inanimate, are related. What are they trying to tell us about God's love? What is the message of the trees? Massive deforestation by clearcutting is a major threat to the health of the planet. As Bruce Cockburn so famously sang in his heartbreaking lament, "If a tree falls in the forest, does anybody hear the forest fall?" He could have included Fairy Creek in the most recent fight to preserve old-growth forests from destruction. The northern boreal forest and the other remaining great forests are the lungs of the planet and the greatest carbon sinks. We cannot afford to lose them, or we suffocate and perish. So we can begin to repair by admitting and repenting our sin against the trees, asking for forgiveness, lamenting our carelessness and its adverse effects, and resolving to be better caretakers, the original task given to us humans in the garden. We can support the defenders of the forest and uphold the rights of Indigenous peoples who have been here for millennia. In Aotearoa, New Zealand, the enactment of the Te Urewera Act made a national park a legal entity, imbued with all the rights, powers, duties, and liabilities of a legal person. Clearly legally revolutionary and precedent-setting for the rights of nature on a world scale. We can learn to give thanks for their faithful love for us and mutually protect, love, and nurture our friends and relatives, the trees, so that we may enjoy them and benefit from their fruits, medicines, foods, and many gifts to us, like shade in a warming world. We can plant more of them. Afforestation can help repair the damage and make the land fertile once again. As Micah says, "They shall all sit under their own vines and under their own fig trees, and no one shall make them afraid." We too can learn again to play in, with, around, and decorate and celebrate them, giving praise to the God of life for these blessings. I spent the happiest hours of my childhood perched in our beloved old cherry tree, for the nurturing of my young soul. Does a tree have a soul or a spirit? Perhaps. Only they and their creator know for sure. But it is intriguing that Jesus was a carpenter using wood in his daily occupation, and that his life was ended at his crucifixion on a cross of wood. Irony or destiny? That wooden cross is an icon of suffering, leading to resurrection and eternal life. As foretold by Isaiah, a shoot shall come out from the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The root of Jesus' family tree, as listed in Matthew's genealogical account. In Revelations, we read the beautiful vision of the tree of life, whose leaves are for the healing of the nations. I would be a leaf on that tree of life and work for the healing of my kind, of Mother Earth, the waters and the atmosphere, of all living things, and for the healing of the nations. Will you also choose to be such a leaf? Then we would see the peace of Christ and the hidden splendor of the light. And then, as Isaiah promises, the trees of the fields will clap their hands as they go out with joy. Blessed be the tree